Well, welcome to the Isthmian show. Of course, we're here again for the next 2 hours, and let's hope, shall we say, fingers crossed, that the new Wi-Fi box behind the back of there carries us going and helps us out tonight and helps us get through the whole 2 hours without it crashing on us. But if it does, we'll try and record it for you and make sure that it goes out for you so that you all can watch it at a later date. But we will do it our best tonight to make sure we stay on air for a bit longer than we did last week, which was, I think, 30 seconds at a time.
Oh, that's what you're good at.
Right, anyway, mate, so say, on my left, but as you can probably see on Twitter and Facebook on my right, is Keith, so welcome, Keith.
Evening, Dave.
And of course, on my right, but on your left, is, of course, the living legend, Mr. Mark Morsley. How are you, sir?
Yeah, really well, thanks.
Good.
Really
and of course, about 7:30, we'll be joined via Skype, hopefully, fingers crossed, by Tony Vance, the manager down there at Guernsey. So he'll be joining us for a chat at about 7:30.
You mean over there?
Over there, up there, down there, all over the place, yeah.
Over there.
Yeah. So he'll come and join us as well. So I suppose start with Mark. I mean, you played at the weekend, Mark. I mean, FA Cup. Happy with the result at the weekend?
Very happy, yeah. Very happy. Happy with the performance as well. We let ourselves down a little bit against Bowers and Pitchley the previous week, but all credit to them really, because they just knew a bit more than we did on the day. But you know, Royston were league above, and you know, we played very, very well, and really, really pleased with the performance, and obviously the result, which is good.
And of course, we talked it off air before we started. We've got a nice close trip for the next round.
Yeah, Bognor away. Yeah, no, which is great. I mean, it's I know it's always a difficult one when you're, you know, when the club is looking for an easy win to pick the money up, but whereas, you know, the sort of the project we've taken on at Sudbury is around developing the club and developing the players, and going away in an FA Cup game to a place like Bognor, which is fantastic pitch, great atmosphere, but be really intimidating for some of our younger players. So from the experience point of view, for me it couldn't be better. And I've always put more teams have always put a decent performance down there. So you know, hopefully we will Saturday week.
Keith, would you like a nice away trip down to Bognor?
I'd like the money. You do. In Bognor, as Mark said, it's a great place to go. Great fans, good atmosphere. You would want that. Obviously, as a club point of view, I think they would want someone at their level or maybe below, if possible. I think if everyone's at that to try and get as much finances as you possibly can in, because with the money in the FA Cup this year, you can sort yourself right out for one season with 3 or 4 rounds. So it's good. But there were some very, very good results for clubs in the Bostik this week, and a few surprises for me as well.
So, I mean, who was your surprises before we go through them, and I'll try and pick them out as best I possibly can as we go down?
I thought the big surprise for me was Enfield. I didn't expect them to lose to Bedford Town, if I'm honest, at home with the start they made. So that was one I looked at. But there was also some decent results for some of our sides as well. Obviously Horsham at Corinthian. Obviously I know Corinthian. I thought Horsham might get something there, and also I did expect Thamesmead to get something at Moneyfield. It's only because of the Moneyfield start, but there was a few shocks all over the place. But that's what the cup's about.
So I think it's a great thing about the FA Cup, and you know, you can never call it. You make a very valid point about sometimes you want to draw a team your level or a league below, but in some respects those games can turn out to be harder than playing a team from above, because you know the pressure's on them, isn't it? You know, and which I think we found on Saturday with Royston. All the pressure was on them. We were able to relax and play a bit, which was great. That suited us on the day.
I mean, I suppose some of these games. I mean, Haringey Borough, we were 1-3-2 away at Brentwood Town. Would you expected that?
Yeah, I did, and they've drawn obviously Erith Town, who grand share of us, and I know obviously the manager who played for me, the young lad, and in the next round. So I think Haringey will be happy with that. Obviously the game I looked at was Hastings Kingstonian as well, knowing what a good side Hastings was. That didn't shock me at all that Hastings beat Kingstonian, if I'm honest with you. They're a good side, especially at home. So like I said, if you go down there was the odd one or two I was a little bit surprised about. I think Didcot turned over. Is it Wingate and Finchley? I think that surprised me. We went down there a few years ago, Didcot, and it isn't the easiest place to go to.
We just had something just come down. I don't know if you guys are still in the League Cup, but some of the Essex ones that have come through, which is I think it's Basildon or AFC Hornchurch versus Coggeshall Town or Great Wakering Rovers. Aveley or Chester will play Barking or Brentwood Town. Morden and Tiptree will play Whittam or Grays, and Hertford or Bishop Stortford will play Tilbury or Marlow.
Interesting. We was actually going to talk about. Well, I was going to talk about this a little while ago, further on in the show, the League Cup, and talk to Mark about it. But let's get some of the FA Cup out of the way, and we can come on to that.
Let's go down these. Let's just try and find some of these. So St Neots Town 2, Bishop Stortford 1.
That wasn't too much of a surprise to me. Obviously, Bishop Stortford hadn't had the greatest of starts. They were away to St Neots, who a few years ago were a very, very good side. So, that wasn't the biggest surprise for me.
Burnham 1, Bury Town 0.
I think Mark will answer that. Bury's in the D's League. Burnham, I think, were a league below. Are they league below?
Yeah, I believe they're actually in league.
Yeah.
I mean, I was surprised because Bury, had a steady start this season. But again, it's one of those, those away games. They can sometimes be a bit tough, can't they? And the teams have got enough to lose, and they want to make it a bit uncomfortable for you, And it's and I don't suspect there was a particularly huge crowd here, whereas Bury used to play obviously in front of a decent number of supporters. So it really is you learn a lot about your players and about the sort of like the toughness of your group in those games and how well you can do. And maybe Ben's team didn't turn up on the day. I don't know. I haven't heard about it, but I didn't see it. For the rest of it.
Brighton City put the curse to bed, as they kept saying. Cambridge City 3, Brighton City Region 4.
Good result in it away from home. Cambridge as well. That's a great result.
I think it's one of the. I did see a number of somewhere flying around on social media in the last couple of days. There was people picking up the performance of the round and all sorts. So I know no one to me, Branton Athletic won a game against Spalding. I think they beat. But I mean, for Tom, obviously I know Tom very well. He's a great lad, and he worked with me at Needham. For him to take the team to Cambridge and get 4-3 winners is top draw, really. So well done to them. And great club, really. I mean, it's a bit of a success story. One of the great non-league stories in many ways. So for them to get pick that money out was fantastic.
Haybridge Swifts 2, Newmarket Town 0.
Good result again. Haybridge had a great FA Cup run last year, didn't they? And it's it's for them. Just keeps them going. It's not a surprise that they won, but it's good that
Haybridge are a good side, a really good side.
Sometimes when you go on them runs, the next year you go out, didn't you? It's one of them really weird things.
Yeah. Well, two teams that Aveley have played here in the last couple of weeks. Hanwell Town 2, Potters Bar Town 1.
That's a shock to me.
Have they hit the buffers a little bit, do you think?
What? Potters Bar? I don't know.
All of a sudden it's that new step and everybody don't know how they played, and all of a sudden...
I don't know. I went and watched Hanwell. I told you the other week when I went and watched them play Ashford, and I thought they were okay. A fair side. We've got them in a trophy. And they're quite a big side.
Have Potters Bar changed much? Because last season we played them. I called it early when I thought that they were good. They knew what they were doing. They knew how to play. Knew how to win games. And they're big lads. They should be able to deal with it. But sometimes when you go up, it's a bit like that.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, if you want to, before we carry on, if anybody does want to call the show, talk to Mark or Keith, or if somebody does want to talk to me, that's unlikely. But 077 4999 2472. That's 077 4999 2472.
Your wife has just texted and agreed with you. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah, probably right, yeah. Hardly see her these days. AFC Sudbury 3, Royston 2, which we've spoken about. Ware 0, Lowestoft Town 1. That's a journey, isn't it? Bit like a replay on that one.
No, that's true. It's good for Jamie. It's good for Jamie up at Lowestoft to get a win and get a bit of confidence, sort of thing. They're a couple of difficult years up there, so it's good to see that he's getting some results, and he's a good lad, Jamie.
Hendon 1, Harlow 1. Surprised?
That's a good result for Harlow after what we were saying. Obviously, we had Jake on last week, didn't we?
In the dark.
In the dark, yeah. I think that the draw and the winner of that, I think, has either got Lancing or Phoenix. The game I want to watch. So I'll tell you about that in a little more time. But that's. I think Danny would be happy with that away from home.
Yeah, absolutely. Replay equals tomorrow night. And we was laughing about Jake, but Jake was actually on Skype last week, Mark, and he was actually in the middle of a field. And so, of course, by the time we got to the end of the programme, he was in pitch black darkness. AFC Hornchurch 1, Harrow Borough 0.
The only surprise that won a draw, the way Hornchurch is starting with all their draws. As we said, that they're a strong side. They're at home as well. Obviously, Harrow moved over now to the Southern. So, I would have fancied Hornchurch for that.
We had the question come in. It says, what are Wingate and Finchley like? What can we expect? Mildon Hall are playing them tomorrow in the League Cup.
They're a good side. I think they've got quite a few injuries at the moment, what I've heard. So it's not going to be an easy game for them. It just depends on what they put out. Yeah, if they're say they're playing at Wingate, they've got a lovely service. Damien, so I'd say go down. They're lovely people over there. That you'll see. Kev, they've got a decent side down there. So I think you enjoyed a good football.
And if you are going there, Damien, if you yourself and it is at Wingate and Finchley, if it is tomorrow, then make sure when you come out the dressing rooms you look left and right. That's the only bit of advice I'd give to. Because there is a road running right the way through it, so be careful. We've had Chris Ottaway, he's the chairman at Epping Town. He says, hi, it's Chris Ottaway, chairman of Epping Town. Gents, I hope one day we'll be high enough up the pyramid to be discussed on your show. Well, why not? Come on and tell us about your team.
Or ring in.
Yeah, or ring in.
Yeah, no, when you get there, you can come in. But we got loads of other managers that want to come in as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's Alex Reed's just watching as well. And lucky was you the other day. Of course, get Chris on the phone. We do listen. Just tell us how your season's started, Chris, this year, and what your aspirations are.
We'll give you the number again in a minute. That's why they put Alex Reed on the bench, to give you a chance.
Yeah, well, I've done the same. Still was giving it to me. He still had to warm up that for 45 times. Just more running. I've seen him doing another 90 minutes.
Northwood 0, Kings Langley 0.
Well, we weren't the curse, was we? Because normally you come on the show and lose, as Mark knows. And he got a draw, and he was happy with that as well, wasn't it? 'Cause he was saying that they're a decent side and it's a local game for him, wasn't it? So
another good result, I think, personally. Cheshunt 2, Leiston 2.
That didn't surprise me.
No?
Didn't surprise me. Obviously, it's a journey for Leiston. Mark knows that more.
Oh, you ain't going on the other week.
Yeah, I know, but we just like.
I think Cheshunt would turn it up. I think Leiston
Yeah.
put out the bag, but that's if you all know what Craig's like, he gets you fired up and all sorts.
Yeah, it's going to be tough going up there on Tuesday night though.
Oh, Leiston at home Tuesday night.
You would fancy them, wouldn't you?
They're a good side.
Yeah,
and they're big pitch, good service, and they move the ball around well, and offensively they're very impressive this year. I have to say, four Rugers joined us, so it'll be tough.
Bowser Pitsy 5, Takeley 1. They're going well.
4 for David Knight as well, wasn't it? That's a good result for Bowers. I expected it, but obviously that's a decent. Stuart's an own there, a good friend of mine, obviously played for me. And they've started the season very, very well. And even though I thought they would have their work cut out because Bowers are a very good side, I thought it would have been maybe a bit closer.
Barton Rovers 0, Needham Market 4.
Yeah, they need only in our league anymore.
There you go.
I was just about to say, Mark Moose goes to Sudbury.
Yeah.
And with his wages, they managed to get a 3G surface out of it. That wasn't bad, was it?
That's unreal, wasn't it? Listen, him being the mayor got on that.
Glad I come on there.
That's right.
Enfield Town 0, Bedford Town 3, which we said was a shock. Really.
It was to me. Bedford, they've got a few players that have been, I'm not saying around the block because that's a bit harsh on them, but obviously have played in our level as well, and in the Bostik. So I know it's sort of equivalent, but the start that Enfield have had in the league, they're sitting fourth. They've had a decent start,
at home,
and they was at home. And to get done there, I know it's a cup game, but that just seemed a bit surprised. So any Enfield fans on, and I know you do watch, just let us know about what the game went.
As we said, and to get done by 3 as well, which you
was a surprise.
Yeah,
it was a surprise.
Things are quite sorry, but there is always sometimes subconsciously you can knock off a little bit when you think there's a game you should win. You're going really, really well. That's why you see some of these, I've never got a problem when it didn't feel it's too tough to go there when I've struggled, so it's a good result for them.
Number again, just so you know, it's 07749 992472.
The one above that, mate.
Is the number. Ramsgate 1, Seven Oaks 1.
Yeah, obviously just reading the report, I think it wasn't the best FA Cup game. I know Mickey down at Seven Oaks, obviously they haven't had the best start in the league, and I think he'd be happy to go down to Ramsgate and get a draw and take them back tomorrow onto their own pitches, which is a free G service, which will suit them. Obviously Ramsgate we've played this year, quite a big side, not bad going forward, but quite big and direct, so I would think they would prefer that, Seven Oaks, but it doesn't stop the rot because obviously it's not in the league, but it gives them something to build on, and when you're a newly promoted side, that's what you need, and especially against a team in his own league as well. I think that'll give them some confidence there.
Yeah. We did Hastings, didn't we? Hastings?
No, we did
Hastings 2, Kingstonian 1.
That's what I was saying. That didn't surprise me. Obviously, Lee hasn't had the best of starts at Kingstonian, which was a surprise. But Hastings are a very, very good side and would hold their own at that level anyway this year.
Is this the year for Hastings?
No. No, I've got to say that, ain't I? No, listen, I said earlier, I think whoever finishes above Hastings, I think will win our league. They're very good, they're quick, very, very well organised, well drilled. Chris has got them playing very, very well. A little bit of experience in the middle of the park. Good goalkeeper we've had on the show as well. Great support every week. You're getting 400 or 500 every single week there. I think they're going to be a tough side to beat. And whoever you are, and I know Kingstonian obviously league above, but that was always going to be a tough tie. And I think, if I'm right, they've got a tough tie in the next round as well, Hastings. But I wouldn't put it past them to go on a run. They've done it years and years ago.
Kingstonian took ground share.
They've gone back. No, they've not at Leatherhead now. They've gone to Corinthian Casuals. So they're on the road again all the time. So they haven't got a ground yet.
That doesn't help, does that? I think?
No, that massively doesn't, because they're a massive club themselves. And they've got great history, and
it's a shame.
It's a big shame.
It's a great place to go and play on the way. I used to love going down the women's ground. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah,
it was brilliant when you went down there. You actually felt, you proper football, but Hastings is the same though. When you're there, a nice stadium, and do get behind the ground, and they're nice people as well.
Faversham 1, Worthing 3. Going like a train.
That wasn't a shock to me. Speaking, someone rang me from Faversham asking, do I know much about Worthing before? I think it was meant to be a little bit closer game. I think maybe the score suggests, if any Worthing fans are out there, I think they're equalised. Faversham at home, again difficult. They're quite a big side, but Worthing have had a fantastic start, and they've had a great carry on from the end of last year when they really turned the corner. I don't know if Mark's seen anything of Worthing at all. I doubt he's seen much of Faversham. So.
Not for a couple of years. No, not when I was with Needham. Obviously, they had difficulties with the pitch and all sorts.
Yeah.
So I think they've kicked on from them.
Yeah, they have. New changing rooms and everything. They're nice.
Who's going down here? So it's Fleet Town 1, East Grinstead Town 2.
That's a good result for East Grinstead. I think they were 1 down as well. They're away. I know Fleet haven't had the best start. I think they're in the same comparison. You always like your own league teams to beat, obviously, them. But to go away from home, they haven't had the best start of the year. They've lost a couple of players Sid Solis, and that's gone as well, back to Margate. So they needed that just before we go down on Saturday. So I could have done without that myself. But that's it's a good result in the FA Cup away from home.
We have Phoenix Sports 2, Lancing 2.
Yeah, I went
to Harlow.
Yeah, I went and watched this. Phoenix were, after the game, they were a little bit gutted and distraught, and I said to them, I don't know why. They were 2-0 up and coasting at half time, and Lancing didn't really look like they were going to cause many problems, and then they got a goal, and as Mark could tell you, when you're 2-0 up and the team scores, for some reason, I don't think there's any manager knows the reason why 2-0 for you, and all of a sudden the team score, why your team have the most wobbly legs and think you've been on the lash for the last 12 hours. It's weird, and they lacked a little bit of experience and game management for me, Phoenix, and they scored, Lancing, and then Steve Phillips and goals made a great save to keep them in it right at the end, but I do expect Phoenix to go down there and win.
Difficult. I think it's not knowing whether to sort of stick or twist really.
Yeah.
I think. But some of the things when it happens, it's important for there to be some direction from the bench. You know what I mean? Instead of the bench tend to get, you think, oh my God, almost you can decide on how you're going to deal with it. Are you going to go and try and get 3, or are you going to hold on to the 2-1? That's often the case.
They knocked 2 Bostic type teams out the round before. They beat Hayward Heath, and then they went and beat obviously Greenwich Borough. So I didn't think, like I said, they were a very good side, but they're still in it, and obviously they're all my mates. I had a right good drink down there all night with them at first aid. But I don't know if anyone, and I know they're listening, if anyone read the report in the non-league. It's the funniest thing ever. Do you read it, Dave?
I haven't read
I'm going to read it, and obviously there might be one word that offends people, but I've got to say it because it makes it. And anyone on the non-league here really should have checked this out. But it just says, right, Phoenix Sports should have wrapped the games up in the first half, missing several Guild Cup chances, but Lancing were a better team in the second half and deserved a replay. So that's fine. Phoenix took the lead in 36 minutes when Ashley Probers, which is Probets, was volleyed home in by Jeff Duquessis, who's, to be fair, has had a great start for Phoenix. This is the good bit. The second come a minute into the second half when Jack Barry found Danny Youngs, whose powerful shit took a slight deflection and flew in. Well, listen, I apologise for the language, but if
clearly you had a tonic about it.
I know it was foul, but it's a tough bill. I thought there was rules in football that the ball had to hit the back of the net. But we all said, and Phoenix, we had a laugh.
Isn't it?
Well,
it happened at Abridge last year where the goalkeeper had a shit went in the goal.
Well, that's it. I know we don't swear, but it was something that tickled me, and we said, like, it's a good job that Phoenix wear black shorts. So, but obviously no one at obviously non-league had picked it up, and it was funny. But that was the game. So I don't know if anyone's witnessed the go of that power. So when they come to us at the beginning of the season, we're going to make sure that there's a lot of strong toilet rolls in there if it's that powerful.
Sponsored by Andrex.
Yeah.
Hive Town 0, Alex Reid 2.
Yep. As I said, we went and played Tunbridge, as Alex knows, last week, and I thought they were a good side. I thought they would be a little bit too much for Hive, who are a good side themselves, but they just seem to have a little bit more, I would say, togetherness, Tunbridge this year. What they've had.
They're building something for a little while.
Yeah, they have.
They're building something for a little while, but thereabouts and fell away, and you always feel that they would just kick on, and I always think it's got. I don't know. It just feels like a big club, really.
Yeah, it's a big club. Like I said, we went down there. They've got a tremendous goalkeeper as well. We moved to be against us, made some great saves. They brought in a great striker of Alex Reid. They've still got obviously other people around. They've got experience, and they were decent, I thought. And it isn't surprised where they are in the league. And I think that they will do really, really well. Steve's obviously I like him. He's a nice fella. He seems to have got the whole club sort of together. They had a Paul Merson night. I think they've got something else going on. They've got a golf day coming on, so they're really sort of trying to get the fans involved.
They've been really supportive of me even through difficult times.
They have.
They always come out and back him 100%.
Yep.
So
well, they were saying while we was there, Mark, as well. Some people, not obviously, I say the fans, that there was rumours about Maidstone looking at him as well, which I'm not too sure because I've heard other things since then on that one, but. Yeah, no, it's a good club and it's a big club that also, years ago they were in the old Conference South that they can push on. They can push on.
Yeah. I just think it's important if the club really think they've got the right guy, whoever it is, that you don't ever want them to hide behind bad results. And,
no.
You want to see that unity, and I think it's important. It's good for the players as well to know that the club are backing the manager. And as I said in the past, I've seen that with Stephen, so fair play to him.
Yeah, well, Alex has just said what a gaffer. So
there's the question.
Steve or me?
Well, there's the question for Mr. Reid then, as he's listening. What a gaffer? Does that mean this guy on my left or your right? Does that mean who's the best, Mr. McMahon, Mr. Chapman, or your present manager now? There's a question for Mr. Reid.
That's harsh.
No, it's just a question, isn't it?
Put him on the spot. He's got to say his own gaffer, isn't he? Otherwise he ain't going to play.
Well, the question is, I want to know from Mr. Reid, are they still calling in a machine down there? But
no.
See, there you go.
No,
see,
they're not. But like I said, they've got a good side, and I don't know if Alex will reply. And they've got. I think they do really, really well this year.
Craig McLaughlin just said, did Tony get back to me? Yes, he did. He'll be on in about 5 minutes' time if we can get him by Skype. If not, we'll get him on the phone just on his mobile. So we'll be doing that in about 5 minutes' time, Craig. So he's going to come on for half an hour a bit later. Egham Town 1, Stainstown 0.
Yeah, I expected that.
And they've lost their manager as well, didn't they? Did I see Egham change manager
Yeah,
as well?
I see that. It was after 4 games, wasn't it? We spoke about that last week, which was a little bit surprising for me.
Yeah.
It's all about it.
They said he was toast.
Margate 3, Hornding 2.
Yeah, again, it's not a surprise. Margate at home, good side. You know, you'd expect them to go through, so it's good for them.
I thought this was Billericay at first stage. Moneyfields 1, Thamesmead Town 0.
Yeah, no, it was a journey. I think Moneyfields is up, sort of. Is it Suffolk way?
No.
Someone told me it was. There we go. Because
No.
I know Thamesmead met very early because my boy was playing a district game at Dartford and their coach was there at like 9:30 in the morning. It's obviously looking at where Moneyfields are. They're in they're in the Southern League, the same sort of level. Up on obviously Phoenix's result against Sittingbourne the week before, the 5-4. Thamesmead. I thought they might have gone up there and got something, but if it's a long journey, which it looks like it was, then it's not. It's got to be the other way. It's got to be down towards.
I don't know where it is.
It's in the south. It's got with Fleet Town. It's got to be very sort of. We'll say not Hampshire way. Yeah, maybe Hampshire way.
Whitstable Town 0, Bognor Regis Town 5. Whitstable Town find it a bit difficult.
They had a great result the week before, beating Ashford in our league, 2-0 at home. But it's Bognor are a good side, and they always have been. They play good football, and when you do play a team that's a league above you, if they score first or they go 1 or 2 up, it goes 2 ways. You know, they become very confident, and sometimes, you know, your team's heads go down, and then anything could. And when you're behind in the cup, you've got nothing to. You know, you've got to have a go because. You can't just sit there and shut up shop and just lose 1 or 2-0.
Yeah.
So
they've started the league well.
They have.
I looked at obviously we've been busy sorting out scout reports, and I looked at some stats. And at home they're tough to, you know. But as you say, they've always been known to play decent football. Which is under Jamie, I guess. You know,
yeah,
it'll be the same there. So.
Horsham YMCA 1, Tooting Mitcham 2.
And
Tooting. I mean,
they're not in our league. No, I was going to say. No.
So
Again, I think the round before, Horsham knocked Ashford out, which surprised me then. Because I keep saying it's a very good result. So for Tooting to go down there and get a result, it's good.
Corinthian 1, Horsham 1.
Again, I know Corinthians. So they're the Kent-based side. They're normally very young. Very young, talented side. They've started their season well. I still fancied Horsham to get something because they've made quite a few signings in the summer. You know, they've tweeted a lot about it, and I thought they would go out and get a result, but obviously they haven't. And
Alan Wright says
chance.
Moneyfields are based near Portsmouth.
Well, there you go, Hampshire. I got there in the end, but thank you, Alan.
Yeah,
it's close.
That's next to Suffolk.
Well, it's if you get on a boat. South.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I meant.
Pagham 0, Whitehall 2.
Yeah, I expected that. Whitehawk again have had a good start to their season after sort of coming down, and yeah, they'll be happy with that.
Leatherhead 0, Herne-Bay 0. Is that a bit of a shock for you?
No, I don't think that was 0-0, mate. I think they've proved that
They-
wrong. I
they-
think it was Leatherhead 2, Herne-Bay 0.
Oh, there you go.
If I'm right, someone may tell me wrong, but I'm positive that Leatherhead won 2-0.
You expect that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Burgess Hill Town 1, Folkestone Victor 0.
That is the
massive shock, isn't it?
That's the shock. Only because how well Folkestone have started, you know, what sort of side Folkestone are, and they missed out, and Burgess Hill haven't had the best of start. It is a difficult place to go down to, and you know, FA Cup, that's what it's there for. It's, you know, league form when that goes out the window.
Yeah, and they've stuck with the manager Burgess, haven't they?
They have, Chapo, yeah.
He's a good lad, isn't he?
And they've lost a few as well, haven't they? I've seen some of the, you know, keep seeing players leaving there, and
A few have gone to where have they gone? Harding gone because what's the other size local to that? Yeah, Burgess Hill have lost a couple.
Moneyfields.
Might be Moneyfields. Some team in Suffolk somewhere. Might be Herne Bay.
Dorking 2, Hartley Whitney 0.
Yeah, again, Dorking at home, you'd expect that result, I think. And they've signed a lot of players from Moneyfields as well. They've got a lot from South Park, haven't they? I think they signed quite a few from there.
Well, we'll try and see if we can't get hold of Tony, if we can. And we'll try and get Tony on and have a chat quickly before we go on with the rest of it around, of course, Guernsey and how it's going. Hopefully we'll get him on. There we go, a bit of music for you as well, ain't bad, is it?
Got all of my cons here.
All of my cons here, yeah, a bit of music, why not?
Hello.
Hello Tony, how are you?
I'm alright, and you?
Yeah, not too bad. So you just need to hit your camera signal on your phone and we'll see you.
You want to see me, do you?
Yeah, if you hit your camera, and if you want to,
Oh,
you can stay like that if you want to and talk like that. But if you want to show us yourself.
You don't want to see my face.
So I suppose one thing, Tony. I mean, how's things going down at Guernsey at the start of this year?
Yeah, not too bad. We had a tough start, and after 2 games, I thought we'd go again. Obviously, playing Whiteleaf and Ashford. Ashford, obviously, big spenders, and Whiteleaf on the day. Whilst I was disappointed with our performance, obviously, when you look at where they are in the league, it's 2 losses against teams that are sort of right up there, and for us, we know where we are realistically, after that we had 2 really good wins, which have brought us back around again. So we're fairly comfortable at the moment, but I'm not getting carried away because I know exactly where we are in these years that we are at the moment.
Hi Tony, it's Keith.
Hiya, how are you? Right?
Yeah, I'm very good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, good. Yeah, not too bad.
So just for the people, obviously, that don't sort of know too much about Guernsey and so on, because we don't have too many of yous in here. Just tell people how hard it is for you to get players and sort of what you've got to pick from, where you are.
Yeah, I mean, I often use the word unique. I think we're probably the most unique football club around, and I think our pathway of sort of academy players going through, I wouldn't imagine there's any other team that relies 99.9% on their pathway, and that's basically it. We don't have any players who play for us in the UK apart from Callum Stanton, our goalkeeper, who pretty much has bought into Guernsey FC and loves playing for us and would consider himself a Guernsey lad anyway. But everyone lives on the island. It's a situation which can work for us, but it can also work very much against us. So, but for us, we enjoy coaching, we enjoy developing these players. So, unlike other teams who there's a sort of a merry-go-round of players, we work with our players and try and develop them. And the better we can develop them, the better we're going to be. Now, as I said, that can be advantageous, but also when you see other teams and they they're not doing so well, so they just go and get players in. It's not sort of a level playing field in that sense. So it's very unique. I mean, I think people, there's a misconception that we've got a home team and an away team, where we meet a team at Gatwick Airport and that's our team for that game. It's not like that at all. We travel an awful lot. Those who come over to us know how difficult it is. Just that one game for them travelling over, we do it, sort of 19 times now.
That was one of the things I was going to say to you, Tony. Sorry, mate. That's what I was going to say. We come over for the first time last year. And from experience, and for us, it was lovely. I thought at the first time, sort of the experience takes over maybe the game for your first time experience. But it is a long day. But how do you get all your players up for it every other week? Because you must get up at the crack of dawn, and then you're not home till late. It must be tough on them.
it's a very long day, and as you said, you've experienced it, once, and it's just completely out of the norm. They say that sort of one sort of the big advantages of preparing yourself for a match is getting a good level of sleep before the game, and we worked out that probably when we go away from home, our players are probably sub 4 or 5 hours on other players perhaps in terms of sleep. It's like when you travel, it's very draining, so it takes a lot out of you, and as you said, it's a very long day. Most of us are up at sort of generally 5:30 in the morning to get up the airport, not home till 9 o'clock at night, and it's and particularly if you've just lost, which we tend to, we last year we had a few tough, last couple of years actually we've had a few tough journeys, so but in saying that, the complete opposite of that is that if we don't do this, then we're playing against each other every other week, because it's so insular over here, and there isn't sort of so the opportunities. So we wouldn't change it for anything, to be honest. But it's a tough challenge.
How do you and the committee as a club sort of try and plan forward? Because obviously the success of Guernsey obviously can only come in sort of cycles, surely. I know you can do as much coaching as you can with academy players, but because you're so limited to obviously numbers, there's going to be times where obviously some of them academy players obviously are not going to be up to scratch. Then obviously some years you're going to have a very, very strong side, but it must be very hard to sort of plan forwards on especially with what levels you could go to or end up.
Yeah, and we're lucky that the board are very realistic, and obviously the way football management goes in the professional game and also in this game is that obviously if I was a manager and not any other club, and this is where it's unique again, is that probably because of our lowly position I'd have been sacked a few times, but the board totally understand and respect it. It's not about that, it's not like that, and we're about the mid-term, long-term as well as the short-term, and like you say, it does go in cycles a little bit. We had a very strong group when we first started, and they're gradually fading away now. So we're sort of in transitional period so the last 2-3 years, and we're probably another couple, I reckon, away from being a really good side again, I think. So we're all looking forward to that. To be honest. It's tough to when you get some defeats. It's tough when you go away and you have to park the bus and sort of try and do anything you can, because of basically the simple fact is that we haven't got the resources at the moment, but we're getting there, and we've blooded an awful lot of players, young players, who are getting better all the time. So, but as you say, it does come in cycles, and we're sort of a couple of years away, I reckon, of making a good fight of it again.
So, Tony, I'm sure I'm right in saying that last year you had a bit of an experiment with one of the Bristol clubs around players and that. Did that go well, or did that not go well, or was that something that didn't happen?
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't say it's an experiment as such. It's we've got a sort of a great agreement with them. Funny enough, this is where I'm there at the moment. I'm in Bristol, and I go over to Bristol City 5 or 6 times a year. Learn with their coaches, watch how they develop things, and look at players, and likewise, if they've got any players that they want to sort of blood in men's football, so to speak, then they offer us the opportunity, and we were lucky to have that agreement. One of our lads is actually almost on trial at Bristol City at the moment as well, so I'm watching how he's doing, but I just get to spend sort of 3-4 days at Bristol City with the coaches, get on very well with the coaching staff, and learning an awful lot. So it's here to stay, that agreement, and they've been fantastic. So as I said, if we ever need, because we haven't, if we're suddenly in trouble, they're always there with a phone call, and it's well accepted by the lads, because they know that ultimately you can't jump on a plane with 10 players, and sometimes on a Tuesday night, last year we had 11 midweek games, which is ridiculous. Half the season was midweek, and and it takes, when lads are taking 9 on a day off work, and that's 11 times, and there isn't many amateurs that will do that.
So obviously the restructuring of the league has helped you out massively, hasn't it? In that terms, but also financially as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big game changer for us to a certain degree, certainly on the money front, because I think you all know that we have to pay for a large number of people to come over to Guernsey for the fixture. So we have to pay for the teams to come to us, as well as paying for ourselves. And obviously, I respect that. We're out of London, if you like, that catching area. So I respect that we have to do that. But it's a huge overhead to the football club, which means that that's how we have to sort of, our starting point is to be able to sustain ourselves. So whilst you guys probably have the challenge of paying players X, Y, Z, and to try and keep them, our challenge is to find the funds to pay for that sort of stretch across the water for you guys coming over here. And but as you said, less games has made a big difference to us, not only in financial terms but also in the demands, because I think we were looking, we're not in the FA Cup or the FA Trophy. Again, sort of, it does make a difference to our players and commitment and funding to a certain degree. But I think we were looking at, statistically, this time by the end of October, we were going to have nearly played 18 games, I think it was, last year, and this year it's only going to be 9. So it does make a big difference given the resources we've got. What
was the reasoning of you not being in the FA competition?
Well, I mean, it's generally down to the fact that one, we weren't doing very well, but two, it turned out it was it cost us quite a lot financially. When you get replays, of course, then those replays have to happen on the mainland, so it wasn't really a great sort of position for us. And then, of course, you end up losing league games as well, which then meant midweek games. So it was a real strain on us.
The only downside to that, though, mate, isn't it? Would be you can't get any prize money to also try and help you out as well.
No, that's right. But I think you have to get through a fair number of games to but when you're paying for the teams to come over, that prize money gets diluted completely. So it wasn't really too cost effective, but we want to get back in it because obviously it's an iconic competition, and you could have that one run, couldn't you? Yeah. But I don't think we're in a position at the moment, to be honest, to be able to sort of sustain that a cup run, and obviously we've got to make sure that we stay in this league as well. And at the moment, for these couple of years, we know that we're going to be sort of the bottom end of the table rather than the top end, unfortunately.
So I suppose one of the other big things last year, of course, you lost Ross, and of course he's gone over to, is it Wellington he's gone over to?
Yeah, he's playing for Team Wellington, he's doing very well over there, and got a small sort of prize of playing in the Club World Cup against probably Real Madrid or Liverpool or someone like that, so it's not bad.
Happy days. I mean, how much of a loss is a player like that to you guys there?
Well, he's a go-to man. He knows where the back of the net is, and goal scorers don't grow on trees. And particularly in Guernsey, when one's gone, we can't go and buy anybody or anything like you guys over there. But I would say, I'm going to be biased, of course, but I think he's probably one of the best strikers in the league, if not the best. I mean, his goal scoring record is ridiculous, so that sort of almost proves it. And so you're going to miss someone like that. And where we were sort of going through that transitional period of losing some players and getting some youngsters in, we needed our best players available. And when he played, he made a difference. Now, but the other thing about our sort of project, our club, if you like, is that we want to see our players, our islanders, do the best they can for themselves. And be it sort of young Charlton Gobine, who's at Bristol City at the moment. James Hammond, our goalkeeper, we sent him off to Exeter City, and Ross, if he's gone, he's going off to New Zealand and playing in the Club World Cup, then I'll push them that way as well, because we want to see them be the best they can.
Yeah, I know I spoke to Matt, well, we spoke to Matt Letizia, of course, a couple of years ago, and he turned around, and when we asked him about Ross, he actually said that he thought he could even play up as far as Division 1.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, I think Ross, he had a few chances. Funny enough, one of them was probably at Bristol City a while ago. At the time, he didn't really sort of, Guernsey's it's an interesting place. It's a little bit of a magnet, and it's a lovely place to live, and you can get comfortable over here. And whilst he was enjoying himself, I think he probably deep down might regret that he didn't go earlier, because he could have played, definitely at League One level and scored goals. I think we played Exeter City once pre-season a few years back, and they brought their entire first team squad, and he scored a hat-trick in 40 minutes. So he can score goals.
No, he definitely can. What's the future at the moment then, sort of ground-wise for you, Tony? Obviously there's rumours, I know Mark's not been over there, but the facilities you've got at the moment are absolutely superb, aren't they? I know you share it with the rugby team as well, but obviously people have been saying that you're looking to get a new ground. Is that correct?
Yeah, again, hopefully this is going to be sort of a great timing for us with the way we're setting the team up and the squad up and the group up for the next couple of years. We've got planning applications in place, and that's as far as it's gone so far. But to move to a sort of our own sort of purpose-built stadium, if you like, small stadium, training complex, it will make a massive difference to us, a real game changer, because we can help sustain the football club. Because at the moment, as an example, yes, we're in a great facility. The pitch is fantastic. The stand that we have is probably one of the best in the league, I would say. Obviously, there's the athletics track, which is very unfortunate, but we don't earn any secondary income from that facility. So obviously, we're getting a decent crowd, 600-700. But if they buy a drink or they buy a coffee or a hot dog or something like that, we don't get any of that money. So it's a huge sort of loss of resource. So when we can get our own facility in a couple of years, if it goes through planning, then as I said, that will be another game changer for us.
So when you, I know it's difficult when the games when you go away, but I mean, is there one team in your league that you like to visit? Is there somebody you look at and think, love going down there, maybe because of the people or maybe because of the ground itself?
We enjoy every experience, really. It's funny, really. I mean, you come across all sorts of characters at different grounds, and whilst I appreciate it's it's all about the results, isn't it? And everyone can get excited on the sidelines and stuff. There are some characters that you play against, but as I said, any journey for us is exciting. Preferably from a football point of view, I like to be able to go to a sort of a ground where the grass is true and you can decent surface so you can play. Obviously in January, I appreciate that's not always the case. So those are my favourite facilities, really, the ones where the pitch is true. Really.
So that'll be 2nd of March then at VCD, yeah?
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll have a nice surface there. We had a good game against them last time, so yeah.
So Tony, you're happy with your start? I mean, looking at non-league paper in front of me, sitting 9th, 1-2, lost 2. I mean, more than happy with the start, or a bit disappointed?
No, I'm very realistic. As I said, I know that we're not going to compete against the sort of the big boys, the ones who sort of got the players that in, and we just don't do our work like that, if you like. So at the moment it's only 4 games in it. So but we've got, I think, the next sort of 3-4 games. I don't really look at too much about who you're playing, because I find what I've learned is that you just don't know who you're playing against week in, week out, because there doesn't seem to be so much consistency with the groups and people move around so much. But I'd say that the next 3-4 games are sort of some challenging but winnable games perhaps for us. So it's important that we don't get dragged down, because that makes life very difficult for you. And we know that come winter we'll be it will be a big tough test for us. So it was disappointing and a little bit worrying, I suppose, after the first 2 games when we were rock bottom. But I knew that obviously whilst the table doesn't lie, that it was a little bit false because of the teams we were playing against. We've tried some sort of new stuff this year, and it's sort of work in progress. Sometimes it's worked, sometimes it hasn't. I feel that there's lots of positivity around the group at the moment. Lads are training 3 times a week at the moment. We're trying some new things out, which seems to be getting some good results. So we're putting a lot of effort in because we have to be honest.
I was going to say that, Chick. How do you prepare for games, Tony? Because obviously, you've got me and you've got Mark sitting here. If say, we're going to play, or VCD are going to go and play Horsham next week, I will basically know most of their players. I know how they play. I would know most of their set plays. Because obviously you're scouting because they're here. We can go and watch them. But obviously yourself, it's pretty difficult to sort of watch nearly every team in your league. And as you said, and rightly so, there's a lot of changes for players that go backwards and forwards to clubs, and you're quite a bit disadvantaged that you can't sort of follow that. So really, you're sort of going half blind into every game you play.
Yeah, and I think if you add into that the teams that we're playing have probably done a job on us as well, and they all know that we're consistent with our squad, so they know how we play. So that's why we've got to try and be as cute as we can, as best we can. But obviously, you've got to try and look after yourselves as well as not worry too much about what the opposition are doing. But yeah, you're going into a game, and your team talks will be all about who you're playing against, what they do, blah blah blah. To be honest with you, we don't really know too much about the players that we're playing against because one, as we said, they move around a lot. Or the managers might be completely different. Something is just completely different. So you can't do too much homework. So it is difficult for us because I know that teams know how we play, and if they don't, and they can get on our internet TV channel and get our footage as well. We'll see a big boost of who you're playing, because you see a boost in the figures of who's watching that game when we're playing. So again, all our set pieces are highlighted, etc. But so we've got to try and be as cute as we can. I mean, we're some of the things I'm learning when I'm going away is we do a lot of video analysis now. So we're training 3 times a week. So we're sort of the lads are all sort of we're getting involved in the sports science, looking at how far we can push these players in training.
What days do you
train? Time, so we're getting all that data through the GPS vests and stuff like that. So we're trying to do as best we can. And as I said, the video analysis seems to be working very well down where we train. We've built a sort of an area with some TVs in and get the old Gary Neville, Jamie Carragher stuff out and start looking at how we're playing and looking at how the opposition might be. But probably percentage-wise, we're focusing 95% on us, 5% on the opposition, because we just don't know who we're playing really.
Mark, would you like to go to Guernsey and play one of Tony's teams?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a lovely part of the world, isn't it? So it's quite a journey from where we are, but obviously that's the same for anyone. So it's an interesting story that you sort of not been aware of for some years, really, because it's quite unique. As Tony's pointed out, the whole project down there is unique, and it's it's interesting.
So, do you get people that are really appreciative of what you put on for them when they come over to you? I mean, are they? How do they react to coming over to you? Are they are they sort of really appreciative? And is there some clubs that come over to you and you think they could be more appreciative, shall we say, when they come over to you?
Yeah, we know there's a couple that are pretty disrespectful, I'd say. But generally everyone are good. Obviously, depending on how the game goes, that can sort of change people's attitudes. But you learn who the ones are that sort of you would I don't know what it is, but what the words are. But no, generally everyone, I think, is a good day out for them. It's not sort of the norm for you guys to fly over and have a game and sort of experience that sort of camaraderie when you travel and all that sort of going through the airports and then get a chance to play in front of a fairly big crowd. And they're not really a hostile crowd. They're an interesting crowd. They when we will lose 2-3-0 and it's the ref's fault, which is great. So so that's
one of mine. What I'd say, Tony, and you're right, like I said, the experience we had last year, and obviously we came over and we lost, but my committee are one of the hardest committees I'd mostly say to make happy, and they were so complimentary, and how you looked after them, and we were with a team. It was, the things that the club do over there are very professional. It was very smooth as well. Obviously, I know the odd time you're going to get a delay and whatever, but you do the best to try and make the visiting club as welcome and as comfortable as possible. And we was very, very impressed.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and as I said, we do just see the guys that you can generally see that's true, and as I say, we do go out of our way to try and make it as a positive experience as possible, because ultimately we're very respectful of the fact that we're in your league, and so whilst it's a game of football with 3 points at stake, but there's I don't think people, there's nothing you can't do, to sort of try and help that sort of situation out and make it a sort of enjoyable day. Obviously, when it comes to the challenge on the pitch, it's different. But you've got to sort of try and sort of not roll the carpet out as such, but as I said, try and make it we'll try and be as professional as we can, really, if we like, and sort of help. So it's nice that you've experienced that and you enjoyed it. So thank you.
Well, listen, Tony, I know you're a busy man, and so we thank you for coming on with us tonight. I wish you all the very, very best with Guernsey going forward.
Thank you very much. It's enjoyable chatting to you guys. So obviously it's difficult for us over in Guernsey, so it was good. Hopefully the technology has worked, and the internet has helped us here. So good luck and enjoy, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Magic.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Thanks, mate. Bye bye.
Cheers, guys.
That was, of course, Tony from Guernsey. So, I mean, Mark, do you sort of look at sort of Tony's situation and think to yourself, Struth, I'm quite glad that I haven't got to have that issue of having to try and get players ready at and coming over on aeroplanes and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a remarkable story, and I suppose that the success there is the fact that they've been able to educate people to think that way. I mean, I think generally speaking, as you go up the leagues, the players have to accept that they've got some travelling to do, and some of that travelling is a bit difficult and a big commitment. But these guys, as you alluded to, have come to their academy, and it's a long day and it's a big challenge. And I over the years, having just sort of read bits and pieces about them and all sorts, I just think I'm full of admiration for what they've done, because they've got to be really dedicated, And when it puts in perspective some of the spats you hear football clubs have about this, that, and the other, and when them guys have got to get on a plane every other week and fly to the mainland.
It's
and then,
got to be hard as well. Like, say, you lose your left back in the week for an illness or injury. You either bring one in or you get on the phone. They can't do that. No. They're struggled. What do? They look. They ain't going to bring anyone in any better than what they've got. So every time they get an injury or an illness, they're weakening their side. And it must be, true. As a manager, you must be pouring your hair out.
But that's interesting.
Let's crack back with these very quickly then. Let's have a look at these. So it was just had it and I lost it. There you go. Brentwood Town 2, Haringey Borough 3.
Yeah, it's a good result for Haringey. Like I said, they've got Town in the next round. I expected them to win. Good side, and they've started the league quite well as well. And obviously, Mark knew him from last year, and obviously, I don't know if he's played Brentwood this year.
No, not yet. No. I mean, I never quite know Brentwood. There's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Sort of every other day there's a new player coming in. But I suppose it's the nature of the beast, really. It's, and Haringey Borough were good last year.
They were.
Kingsley Town 2, Histon 2. I don't know if they lost their manager Kingsley before that or after that, but I know they had.
I mean, Histon are step 5, but
they've been put into ain't they been put into an awful league?
Histon are in the league local to me. What was the Youth League, Regions League, it's Sterling non-league now, which is we've got Brantham. I mean, they're in the league with Stowmarket Town, who are a club with huge ambitions and a budget to match. And Histon have started the league quite well, you know. And but Histon, I mean, people forget, but Histon nearly got in the football league.
Yeah.
I mean, they were quite a club really. So, but King's Inn, obviously something's gone a little bit awry there because the manager coming in with a lot of thought for one, and then he's gone. So, yes.
Great Wakeling Rovers 3, Wisbech Town 1.
Guess a good result for Great Wakeling. They've had a good start. You know, Wisbech years ago used to be a very good side. I remember going up there. I think I might even played there. It is a hell of a journey. Yeah,
terrible roads as well.
It is a journey, but yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, Wisbech were a big club years ago. Yeah. But Great Wakeling are always tough at home.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Basildon United 0, Peterborough Sports. I'm assuming there's 2.
And I know about Peterborough, so.
Basildon started okay.
Basildon have started okay. They've signed some bodies as well. Even I think last week they did as well. I think they made a few signings.
Tough place to go apparently. I understand the pitch is not but I mean I understand they're a battling side.
Yeah.
Hayes and Yeading 2, AFC Rushden and Diamonds 1.
Hayes have had a good start to their league. I think they're top, aren't they? They won every game or nearly. Well, they're second. They've 10 out of 12 points. Again, big club. So were Rushden, and they're meant to be on the research as well. So,
Corby Town 2, Hertford Town 0.
Again, I can only say that sounds a shot. I don't know what the strength of Corby are like now, but see Hertford, we know how well they done last year. I don't think they've had the best of starts this year though, since they've moved. But that's going to affect anyone in that like jigsaw league, I call it, with all bits and bobs in it.
Just chuck them all in. Cobblestone Town 1, Berkhamsted 1.
I expected Cobblestone to win because again, I don't know if you've played them. The rumours of what they're saying, they've got. I know some of the players they've signed this year. Obviously with Kieran and things like that, they've got a good side.
Ollie Mers is the director of the company there, and they've got a plan and they're backing it, and fair play to them. They're geographically quite well positioned as well. Cobblestone, it's not far away from Braintree, but it's an area where you could get a support base and very easy to get to travel to. It's on the A120, which is the road to Stansted from Colchester. So signing players, that players will come a bit further, but it's often easier to get to. So, but I was surprised with that.
FC Romania 4, Suntown Rangers 0.
That shocked me. That was one of the shocks. Some just haven't had a good start this year, and it's funny. Like last year, we were saying that how well they did do from the year before. Again, like we said, I don't know if they've lost any. FC Romania had a poor start, and I think they won their last game.
They're a physical side, aren't they? Really fit and physical, and maybe someone just got caught cold.
Maybe, yeah.
Because we played FC Romania in the League Cup and had to dig out to win 2-1, but they were a big, powerful side, and as I say, their fitness levels were high, and maybe someone just got caught cold.
Farnborough 2, Lewis 2.
I've read the report. Again, could be biased. Farnborough said they should have won comfortably in the first half. Lewis are a good side. They've had a good start. They're both at the same level. Obviously, we knew what was going on at Farnborough with the shenanigans when they were in our league, and it was like the mini Billericay at one point, wasn't it, with all the bits and bobs there.
A little bit mad,
with States or whatever. But it's a lovely. You want about grounds? What a lovely ground that is. I've still got the video when we went there. It's a beautiful. You actually think you're playing. Like we said with Kingstonia, Kings Meadow, I think it's a better ground than that. But Lewis, that's a great way, and they've got to go down to the Dripping Pan on Wednesday, and I fancy Lewis turning up.
I saw the video. That's a good down there, is it? So,
I saw a press release from Lewis. I don't think it's one that's come out previously, but I actually saw it this week. But they agreed to play their first team men and their first team ladies. Have got exactly the same playing budget.
And that was said last year, wasn't it?
I saw that on the BBC.
No, they've said that equal opportunity is. Listen, I know Stuart, and that obviously he's on the league for here. I can't see that. I'm out there. I'm going to put it out there. I can't see that.
Championship in the women's.
Yeah, well, Charlton Ladies are at our place, and it's not Man United. who are obviously in their league. But it's listen, I'm not saying I just can't see it. I really can't. Not the level they're at, and to play the ladies. Well, unless they've got a great sponsor or something in there for the ladies, I don't know. And that it's not going down the Serena Williams sexist fault, and I'm not going to nick anything off them or things like that. But it's just like I said, they've been saying it for the last couple of years before they even got into this league, and so it'd be tough. But the men are doing well.
Last but not least, Met Police 3, Cray Wanderers 2.
Yeah, I think that would have been a great game to go and watch. Cray are a good side. Was I surprised with the result? Maybe not. One, because Cray's FA Cup record isn't brilliant, but to go away at Met Police, even though the pitch would have suited them massively because it's a lovely surface, but the Police are a good side. I watched them last year, and obviously what they've signed.
They're quite an upheaval because Jim left, didn't he?
Jim's watching, but obviously Gavin's took over, so they've got the familiarity there because he was the assistant. They've signed.
Is Tony Russell at Cray?
Yeah, they signed Mazzone from. They play football still, but obviously he was they've signed Met Police signed Mazzone this year from South Park, who was a player I was very interested in and very, very impressed. So that was the only reason I wasn't surprised. It's away from home, but I think that would have been a very, very good game to go and watch. Very good game.
Team for you then, you guys that you think might be the team that will go the furthest this year? I mean, last year was probably, we thought it was an easy decision. Last year it didn't turn out to be, but I mean, who do you feel might go the furthest, who's more equipped, shall we say, that might make it all the...
And the draw's going to make a big, the draw is the draw, isn't it?
And I suppose the thing is as well, for certain clubs at a certain level, and I know there is the money scenario, but from the league, local to me, I mean, Jodie would have won the league last year, but having for the game. Those who won that, I mean, they're a hell of a team, but the players they play, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
So, for me, someone like Tunbridge could be the side.
Tunbridge could.
But then you think
Worthing, Bognor have both got good draws.
Yeah.
Bognor
have got a ball, they say.
They would say that.
They're one. So.
I said Hastings from our league obviously have got a good, they've got a tough draw in the next round, but they've got, they're equipped to go as far as what our league would be. But obviously,
what about somebody though that maybe everybody would look completely past all the time? Somebody like a Harlow or maybe a Hendon or something like that. Somebody that
the way you were talking about Harlow the other week.
I'm just asking the question. That's why I'm asking the question. They had a really bad start to the season.
The FA Cup. To go far in the FA Cup, obviously there's three things you need. One is luck. Two, you need a good draw, and three, you need to be a good side. You ain't gonna be towards the bottom of your league and go the furthest. What you're trying to say out of all these 90 odd clubs, or there's even more now. If you're not, you can get good draw. Like I said, some of these clubs have got draws still, from a league or two below still, and they get through. And the draw's always got to help you. But to win any competition, the draw's got to help you. As all the England fans will say about the World Cup.
I think the thing is as well with some of the lower clubs. The local team, Brantham, who've done, two lads who are the managers there, or ex-players of mine, have done really well, and they're the furthest they've ever been. And they've picked up 10, 12, 15 grand so far, which the money is great, but then you get to a stage where, do you know what, we're just playing to enjoy it.
Yeah, of course.
There's no pressure whatsoever, and they've got one or two boys who can play, and they're the teams that actually someone's can be the tough game, and as I say, my chairman would love to have seen me, and I think Long Welford and Haverhill are replaying tomorrow night, and he's sort of thinking, well, that'd be quite nice, and sometimes those games are really tough.
I think as a manager or as a chairman or an owner, you can't help but think that way, because it takes so much pressure off you as and a club. If you would always fancy, there's cup shocks everywhere, but you would always fancy that route.
Well, it all depends on how well the football club are managed and how much is the need for the FA Cup. And I know from when I rejoined Sudbury, it's not a pressure on me.
No, it's not.
It's not the money's. Yes, because if we have the money, it's great, and that'll be used. But it's not going to affect what happens with my team. You know, that's what I was told from day one. You know, so
Yeah, there are. And you're right.
But sorry, cut across you.
Go on, mate.
But the thing, of course, is that managers, in years gone by, when I've been looking at strength, when I have the benefit of an academy like I have now, when I've been looking for players, you're looking at the bigger clubs and you're looking at their FA Cup results, because the number of times you'll see an FA Cup bad defeat.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, right, there's a player coming out of there, and that player might go somewhere else, and because clubs are thinking, well, okay, well, they'll do the balance sheet, and we'll put in 10 grand for the FA Cup, all of a sudden it's zero.
What I was going to say,
and that's the strange I'm really. I always think that I've been fortunate enough in the clubs I've been at that I haven't really had that pressure, but I know some managers have been basically saying, well, look, you've got to win this.
Yeah, no, I agree. Look, there are clubs that put that in the budget.
And fundamentally, a football league season is about 40 games or 42 games, and it's about the long run. But then all of a sudden, have this crazy pressure put on you because someone ain't done the maths properly. Is an odd one, but that's just me as part of the League of Managers group.
No, I agree with you. No, I don't get anything with that anyway. But no, you are 100% right. There are a lot of clubs that put that in their budget, and you shouldn't really. Dean's just come. All right, Dean, how you doing? He's got Harlow are going out soon. They have Phoenix Sports next, hopefully. Obviously, Phoenix beat Lancing tomorrow night. That'd be a good game as well. That's obviously if Harlow beat Hendon, Dean, which Hendon will contest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and of course both plastics as well, so that's not going to bring any advantage whatsoever.
No.
I suppose going to you then, Mark. I suppose the last time we spoke to you, you was actually in need of market manager when you came in, and about a week later, it was we
spoke to him on the phone. Didn't we?
I was needed like a chairman when I came in.
Chairman.
I was.
Yeah, he was the chairman, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean. I think he did speak on the phone.
We did, went to Sudbury,
which was good. I always have a chat with you boys, But no, I mean, the decision at Needham was a decision which I was fully involved in and supported. A lot of it was around making sure we kept Richard Wilkins, who's now the manager there, because I'd obviously brought him into the club, and I did kind of think that I was getting to the stage where maybe it was time to. I've been doing this a lot of years, I have to say, and I'm beginning to think that that the time might be right. My kids are getting older, and the business interest would expand a little bit. I kind of told myself all the right things, but it was a huge mistake. It's a huge mistake. I mean, I realised that quite quickly. I thought, God, this is the worst thing I've ever done, and. But it was right for Needham to make that change, and there was no going back at Needham. That was the way. And I don't know if I said it, if I'm repeating myself really, but I got to the stage where I was going to go and speak to the chief executive at Needham and just say, look, I'm going to go, and I was actually just going to go. There was no way I was going to get involved with the team. That's Richard's team. They're a fantastic football club, and they'll be massively successful going forward as a club as well, not just the first team. But it was just, and I wasn't looking to go to another club, but sort of my old mate Danny Laws, who's the academy director, was a guy who phoned me and said, well, what about it? And I thought, God, that's like. That is the club. I think, that because it ticks the boxes for me. I'm sort of over the years I've kind of built teams. I'm not trying to sound like something, but I mean at Leiston, we went to Leiston, and that was sort of step 5, and then trying to get out, and had a great 3 years, and twice at Needham building teams, and the team that's recent one. We were in the playoffs for most of that season 2 years ago, and that was a side that came young lads we walked through. So the project and all the journey, as I like to describe it, at Sudbury was great, and I'd been manager there 12 years before, and I left, had a bit of a bust up with the board over the budget, and I left, and I probably left because I was in me early 40s and a little bit nutty really, whereas I didn't really take on board what I had there and what the potential. So to get the job again was like, well, I'm not going to turn this one down, So, and it's been good, and I think they're pleased with what we're trying to do. So,
what is the sort of ambition? What are Sudbury looking for?
Depends who you talk to, really. If you talk to the vice chairman, he went on record saying we want to be conference safe within 5 years or something. But there you go. That's good, really. I have to say that the reality is that it was about changing. You see, they've got probably one of the most successful non-league academies in the country.
Right.
There's a close connection with Ipswich Town, and a lot of Ipswich Town scholars come out of Ipswich and come to Sudbury, and you only have to look at what the under-18s have done in Suffolk in the last few years. It's phenomenal. I mean, they're just. So it was mad that they had that facility that facility there, and they had that resource. But it's actually talking about using it and doing it is difficult now. Obviously, Tony over at Guernsey's got no choice, and so you know. But Sudbury's a facility at Sudbury now is got a pro club really. I mean, I know we're playing the 3G pitch, which splits the crowd a little bit. I like it personally. I like the chance.
At last.
You know,
do you know what? At last, somebody that come in here with some common sense. At last.
Yeah, listen.
Well, I think the thing is,
he's gone from manager to chairman and manager again. What's that telling you?
Right. Well, I mean, if you could have Bogdan Town's pitch for 40 weeks of the year, yeah, I'd have grass.
See, that's the reason I like grass.
But you have to think about. There's a lot of things in football to think about nowadays, and the business model is a big thing as well.
Listen, I've always said that is a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, but there is, you know, in 10 years' time, there will be. I firmly believe that at some stage, someone upstairs at the Premier League, they'll be pushing more money down through the grassroots, and the survival of football clubs will be clubs getting 3G pitches, and then clubs at like your step 5, step 6, step 7, if you like, merging or working with clubs to utilise it as well, and that will give them, you know, a lifeline. But yeah, it does split the crowd. But let's be honest as well. If you pay for the top of the range, I know at Sudbury they pay for the top of the range 3G pitch, and it's exceptional. And yes, it is plastic, and you get the same old story, but it's not a crazy bounce. It's not this. It's not that. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I'm sold on that really. But the great thing is that it kind of helps. If you're trying to play a certain brand of football, it helps as well. You know, because the fact of the matter is, and sorry to cut across your thing, but Saturday's game's a prime example against Royston. If we try and stand up to Royston, we get battered.
Yeah.
You know, we won the game. You know, I mean, and they were very, very complimentary, and a fair play to the managers and the assistants. They were very complimentary, and really one of the two goals was a real howler from our point of view. But we were able to get the ball down and move it very quickly, and we were good in possession, and that's our play. And so that does help. It does help, you know, the development of younger players because of that. But that is the Sudbury blueprint now. And I suppose the great thing is, I'm fortunate enough to have been successful to build some teams, and I think. I don't know. You have to ask the club. But I think offering me the job and taking me on board, I'd got enough, if you like. I could get a decent honeymoon period. Yeah. Maybe a bit more than a lot of managers would.
Yeah, because what you've done.
Yeah, and so this year, and thankfully the supporters in the main stuck with us. And this year we've had some really good performances, and. You know, Dean Greygoose, who's the manager at Mildenhall, who I know well, and is a great football man. I mean,
nice guy.
He's a really good guy. He was a great goalkeeper at Sudbury as well, and he just said to me, he said, I've not seen. He said, outstanding. I've watched it all day long. He said, we played you, and we tried this, you done that. We tried this, you done that, and that's the kind of way and it worked out. But it doesn't work like all the time, and it is a work in progress. And so you can't predict what you're going to do or where you're going to go, because a Bowson pitch he came. You know, and Rob Smaller manager. I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's no fool, and he knew what he was doing. They knew what he was doing, and they knew more. They knew too much for us. Yeah, and they beat us 1-0, and they had delayed. Knights was sent off after 25 minutes, and he's key to them in many ways. You know, he's got 3 goals at the weekend, didn't he? 4. So I mean, it's still a way to go, but. It's really exciting times. And for me personally, it's actually the most.
So it's gave you that buzz back.
Oh, mate, you never believe it.
It's good.
The 2 coaches who are with me, they're both long-term mates of mine and work with me and play for me. And my head coach Paul Skinley was with me actually when I was at Sudbury before, and he said, I've never seen you like this. You know, it's like I'm really got the buzz back, you know. But a lot of it is to do with is what's going on at the football club and the academy and giving a chance to build to take him on this journey, as I keep saying.
I look at you. You've literally the fixture coming up, and you got all the form. You got almost the re-informed teams at the moment, all in the next few games. We've got Romford, Felixstowe. You've got Morden and Tiptree.
Yeah, I mean, Romford. Obviously, Romford has started really well. Obviously, the problem wasn't the team; it was where they were playing, because they've gone to East Stokes Ground and they're flying. Which is good because they're a good club. Actually, good people involved there. I like to have that. And obviously Saturday will be tough. The Felixstowe game was the Velocity Cup, and we go at Bogdan on the Saturday, so this will be a great opportunity for 11, 16-year-olds. We'll change. I know, unfortunately, we've got the FA Youth Cup that week as well, which is quite big for the football club as well.
Yeah,
but we will be giving first-year scholars a chance in our first team, and I've watched our first-year scholars, and they're good. So I'm not worried about that. But it can't be a priority, and I'm not trying to sound like any of these managers who disrespect the FA Cup at pro level.
Yeah.
We are talking about a long journey away to Bogdan on the Saturday.
Yeah, of course.
And
just going into the League Cup, and this is what you're another manager, and I don't know if Dave knows too much about this, but I don't know if your club sends you the chairman board meeting minutes and things like that of what was proposed, but a few people have been throwing ideas around for the League Cup next year. Obviously, some. Into what you've got outside, Dave. Some managers are not happy with the fixtures because they think there's two less now, and there's loads, so they're all arranging friendlies, which you've got on outside, and so on and so on to look at their players. And obviously the League Cup, and to be fair to the league, they let us move theirs. They're maybe coming up with ideas or asking people for ideas on how they may want the League Cup next year. They might, would you think something like a group League Cup fixtures would be good, or something similar?
The thing is, the league restructure is, in my humble opinion, is a complete is a mistake in terms of the fact that actually the midweek games are very important for a number of reasons. And I get the travelling thing, and I get this, and I get that, but do you know what? It's almost like you appease the small number of people who make the most noise. Because in my opinion is, if you play semi-pro football or league football and you're successful, part of the acceptance of success is the travel. Yeah, that's the way it is.
100%.
And I've never ever worried about. And at Needham, I have to say, I think for 2 years run, our Bognor game was on the Tuesday night. Never worried me at all. I thought about going to Bognor, I thought about playing there, getting over for it, don't care. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of people saying a lot of things, and it's always the small minorities who say the ladders have got their way. Now, the League Cup at Needham, I didn't enter the last 2 years because you couldn't. It's ridiculous, The two things for me, based on where we are, one is that we have our County Cup, which is the Suffolk Premier Cup, which is quite an interesting competition. But the Suffolk FA started too early. They should start it after Christmas. But for me, on the League Cup, it's a total no-brainer. It should be a regionalised league competition. Yeah. Like a mini Champions League thing, not a Champions League. You know what I mean? It should be so you can get midweek games involved. I'm using the League Cup to look at the bench and the players from the academy, and more so against Felixstowe because of the FA Cup. But even the FC Romania, there was only 4 players who started the Saturday game, started the Tuesday because of the squad. But that's a great way of using a competition. But losing these midweek games,
I do agree with that
because and the key is revenue.
No, I do.
Because if you're losing 10 midweek games and you only get 100 metre for your gate, and a lot of clubs get a lot more, some get less. I know, but if it's, that's 5 ahead, that's 500 quid you've got. There's 5 grand gone.
How would you like? So you mentioned like the group with regionalised. Obviously, there's some things being thrown around that there might be groups of 4, but you don't play home and away. You play obviously. 1 home, 1 away, or maybe 2 at home, 1 away, and it's just the luck how it turns out. But then the top team go through, or the top team go through. I think if you had 4 and then you had another 8 fixtures, that's nearly all them fixtures up, and then you'll go through. So it would go on and on and on. But I do think the league and they've put that out there. They are asking for recommendations, so it's worth talking to most managers or people and see how they would want it formatted.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want to keep playing all the local sides? Like, not be funny, I said I wouldn't fancy keep playing Phoenix, Thamesmead and Greenwich Borough around the corner from us in the League Cup, because is it really a League Cup then? Because you're not, the better teams ain't going through, you're just playing people around you.
I suppose if you did that,
it's got to be some sort of...
If you did that in many groups, you'd have to make it groups, and if that meant it's you, Aveley, so.
Well, I think there's got to be some regionalisation, but I said we don't want to be travelling to Sudbury from Bognor. I get that, but I just think, for me personally, it'd be nice to have a. But
with these midweek fixtures, could the FA or the league or whatever have turned around and said, look, okay, we're gonna play these sort of fixtures during the week, but then all of a sudden, if you then had, say, like Mark Scott coming up, he's got Bognor Regis, or like Harlow had where we had Wroxham. Do you know what I mean? Could they not then turn around and say, right, okay, well, what we'll do is in a couple of weeks' time, you've got, I don't know, you might be playing Needham Market. Could you not then have the Needham Market game moved to Tuesday and that big game away on the
league have moved fixtures? I don't know what round it is. I don't know if it's after this round. That last year, if you had a League Cup or League game midweek, the league would let you cancel it and move it. So it's down to both the clubs to speak to the league, and the league will try and help you.
And the league should try and help us as well.
Yeah, they will do.
I'm not critical of anyone in particular, but I think that I'm not really seeing the evidence of that much help. But I think they do need to look at help.
Yeah, no. Listen, I had the same with the county this year for ours. So
I just think that losing the midweek games is mad.
There's also another thing they've mentioned about, again, your thoughts, about having just a competition just for Step 4 clubs. So we've got the 4 leagues, so Step 3 wouldn't be involved, so you would just play teams at your level, and just having a competition, a different whatever sponsor competition for that, not the League Cup, that might still be involved. Or maybe then the Step 3's coming after all the group stages, and I think they're just looking for people's response.
Yeah, I think the thing with the regionalisation, of course, is that it depends on the strength of the teams in the area, aren't they? I mean, there's a lot of clubs where we are, there's obviously. But because it's not anymore, I keep forgetting, because quite a lot of our teams are now gone.
Yeah, they've moved over.
They're in the Midlands League, but I think it's something they need to address, and certainly to try and get some more midweek games. Because at the end of the day, you can still use it. You can still use squad players. You can still blood players, but you need the more games, because it's just as I say, I looked at the league and a lot of people said, great, how much less travelling to do this, that and the other. I think, well, yeah, okay, if that's your mentality,
yeah, I'm 100% agree.
You're in the wrong place, and yes, you talk about money and finances and all that, okay, but cut your cloth accordingly.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? Cut your cloth accordingly. But I suspect there are chairmen and club people out there, and I'm not naming names, I'm not criticism, I'm just throwing it out there that I've looked at and thought, actually, here we go, we can stick another £1,000 in his budget to save it on the road.
Hence what we said to Guernsey, because Guernsey are reporting saying that they're saving £25,000 on them games, because obviously, which is fair enough. But no, it's just quickly.
But the thing is, if you don't want to do the travelling, and if you don't want to move up the leagues, but then you're so the leagues there's less games, and you save some money, you put it in the manager's budget. Sorry, but are you not hoping the manager can be more successful?
Yeah,
so is he then not going to win the league and then he's not going to go up? So really, that's a nonsense.
No, I agree with you.
Complete nonsense. I'm with you. If you don't want to go up, don't make the team stronger.
Yeah,
that's the way it is. But I don't get it really. I don't get it really.
Just quickly, Hayley's messaged in, and I know she's watching now, and I know she asked where's Tony, but she's just said get Aggie back on. Come on, you use. I spoke to Aggie, obviously Hayley at our game when I said, and you call him Aggie, and he does want to come back on, Chris. But I didn't know, Hayley, if you would like me to bring my forward Charlie in, because I know you secretly like him. So and I'm sure you'll say why. Hayley's very connected to football. She was if I'm right, she was at Charlton and things like that when obviously Charlie was there. So
there you go.
very big football knowledge lady.
So
it's a very informative show, isn't
Yeah,
it?
No, things
we don't. We see what it is. We don't just sit on a nice comfortable sofa. We tell it as it is, don't we?
Yeah, I've got a bad back to sit on the sofa. I'll fall asleep.
Yeah, I've seen Jim. He's half asleep half the time. He should have come on here.
Jim's on it.
But,
listen, nice seeing Coops.
It is. But with the actual Sudbury itself, then, I mean, how's it going for this year? And I mean, are you expecting sort of big things? I mean, where's the project at the moment?
I think. I mean, last season was a free hit for me. You know, I knew. I'm not trying to say blasé, but I knew we had enough not to go down. I think we gave 23 scholars their first team debut last year, so we had a real free hit to look at things, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. You know, but we learned some things about it. It is integrating the first team and the academy closer. You know, that's a big part of what goes on, and certainly there's a great deal of communication between, you know, the two. There isn't two camps anymore. It is the one club together, and a lot of them, the second year scholars train with the first team, and as I say, there's a lot of dialogue goes on and communication goes on. You know, because like next week, you know, I had a conversation with the academy director on the way here about they've got the FA Youth Cup, we've got the League Cup, we've got the FA Cup. You know, we want to make sure, because those things are important to the club as well. You know, so it's a very, very grown up conversation, and it's not about egos; it's about a common cause. So, but clearly this year we did need to move on a little bit, because quite rightly the Sudbury supporters were great supporters and they paid their money and they want to see a bit of success. So there was a need to commit to a squad, which we did. We obviously signed Paul Hayes right at the last, sort of like, which was like, I was looking for that signing throughout, because I'd used that formula at Needham with when I was there with the youngsters. We had Kemmys that played for us.
Yeah, Kemmy, yeah.
And then Westlake was there as well, and then Chrissy Hogg as well. So we had those, and you know, but the thing about the Sudbury thing is it's not just about a lot of emphasis on the youngsters that come in. The youngsters play a part, but you can't. I mean, Hanson was right all those years ago. You can't win it with kids, and actually the truth of that story is that, you know, I never did win it with kids. They played kids around Cantnar and, you know, and Palliser and Smigel and all sorts, and so we've got some good non-league experienced players. You know, people like the goalkeeper Paul Walker, who's one of the best I've worked with, I have to say, and Joe White and Billy Holland and Dale Coakley, people like, you know, and Phil Kelly, who's very successful at Brighton. So there is those players as well. But the great thing is they get it.
Yeah,
they get what we're doing. You know what I mean? And Hazy's come in. And yeah, he could have gone anywhere. I sold him the story, and he since he's been at the club, he's been great around. But he's loving the whole scenario and being involved in it. But that project is a lot of people got to buy into it. The club, the supporters, the players who are there. But also, the only way it works, of course, is that if these youngsters come in, they've actually got to be able to play a little bit as well.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's not about. It isn't actually about your birth certificate. It's about, are you good enough, you know? And some of the boys who've come in, I have to say, are exciting. But they are 16, they are 17, they are 18, and they will make mistakes.
Yeah.
And there is an expectation on the older players to you know, because against Bowers 2 weeks ago, from our point of view, some of our experienced players were poor on the day, and then to ask a 16-year-old centre-half to raise a team, you know, well, if you've got a lad who can do that, he's probably not going to become for our academy, you know. So it's but as I say, really, really exciting, and it's a project I'm loving. But where we'll be this season, I don't know. I think we won't go far short of the playoffs. I think we won't go far short, but you know,
who do you see your main challengers? Obviously, we know the obvious, but have you played anyone you sat there and thought, oh, what, they might surprise me?
The thing that is, the interesting thing that it is, where's my league? Here we go. There's a lot of teams in there who are clearly, in my opinion, are thinking about getting up. They're funding it, you know, financially strong, with good managers and good, you know, and I look at that league. Malden top, can they win it? Yes. Felixstowe very successful in the league below, big club, big support. Can they win it? Yes. Coventry Town we spoke about, can they win it? Yes. Bowers and Pitsy, second all of last season, can they win it? Yes. Romford are doing great. Canvey Island would expect to be there or thereabouts and win it. Averley doing good things here. Can they win it? Because they can. Avery Swifts, can they win it? Yes, because they can. So I've just named half the league here. I'm not talking about us.
You're not even looking at Big Club.
No, and so it's.
Until
we were in a bit of a false position in many ways, looking at who Joe signed there, and we had a great start there this season. So the great thing is, and my opinion of ourselves is that we're not actually fishing in the same pond as a lot of those teams. You know what I mean? We've got senior players who are signed 3-year contracts and longer. And we've got scholars coming through, and even Hazy's on a 2-year contract. You know what I mean? So we have got some longevity in our squad, and I'm not certain there's many teams who can say that.
No, 100% agree with you.
And so I think our brand of football and our football and identity, which we're trying to build, can only improve and improve and improve. And we just need to get to a stage where I can get our lads. This is how we play, this is what we're going to do. And although we do look at oppositions and we get scout reports and all those things are important as a manager, I never discuss those with the players. They're in my bag, and my coaching staff know it. And so if there's a long throw to worry about, we deal with that, or if there's a certain corner or this, whatever. But fundamentally, we are getting them to say, right, this is what we do, and this is the way we do it. And if we can be good at that way, we say to the opposition, right, this is what we're going to do. Come and stop us doing it. But that all sounds good. But we have got a winner to contend with. We have got to go to grass, muddy pitches, and all sorts. We've got to find a way to play in them. And so because as much as there's an upside to a 3G pitch and people moan about it, and I know we play on it regularly, but we do have to go away from home, and that can be a challenge as well.
Just also give us you must have listened to the show last week, or you just say you did anyway. We're going to run it past most managers, but just because I think the more we get it out there, the only chance we've got of changing it. Just tell us your thoughts about this playoff system for the end of the year. Is that a complete worry to you, or can you believe that some buffoons actually come up with it?
I think it's just like making the league smaller and having that's nonsense. That's nonsense. Where is the well, I don't know what to say.
Well, someone said when we discussed it last week, and I saw comments after the show. I saw it on the feed and when we put the podcast out last week. I saw people just answering stuff on there. Some people were putting on there, oh well, we might get to a situation where we get so far down the line, and the FA relook at it again, and they change it. And I thought to myself, well, once the rules are set at the beginning of the season, then they can't go back and then actually look at it and change it. So
depends on where this rules put. I know we had this with Nick last year when we said about reprieves. Yeah. I don't know, I haven't got that to hand. I haven't looked at it. I just think we need to get. That's why we've got to keep making it out there. Some campaign. I don't think there would be a football manager in non-league football that wouldn't, or a supporter that wouldn't sign up to it. I just want to get one person to say to me, I think it's a good idea and the reason why, and I'll be satisfied. But I don't think there ever will be.
Well, there's always going to be a problem based on the number of leagues, because at the end of the day, you are still filtering into the same number of leagues at the top. So there's always going to be that scenario. But it's become harder and harder and harder to get up there.
Well, there's one new league above us, isn't there?
Yeah.
And obviously there's an extra leagues put into our level, but whereas before there used to be 4 teams come down from the Prem, which we all know, and then obviously then your 2 went up. Now they're just saying that only 3 teams are going to come down. So then why don't you just go either in the 2 worst 4th place teams come down, and that's done.
Yeah, but
it's not even common sense.
Well, that kind of gives an advantage to the league above. I mean, it's always been 4 teams down. Apart from we had this restructure when the one team went down. Is there really need to muck around with that?
It's like I said. I know how we would feel as a club if we got in the final and lost it. won the final and didn't go up, and I just, and I know it's just you can't.
The madness, of course, is about all of this is that, and it may have happened, and I might have been told about it. So if it did happen, I apologise to the FA. But was there a period of consultation with people like us? Or was it men around a table in darkened rooms? And
well, this is a great one to put out there because our league chairman listens and he is on this. So we really need I think clubs at our level, I think clubs in the Evo stick, they all want answers and they want to know why this was put.
The thing is, lads, it's not rocket science, is it? You can start the ball rolling by sending a questionnaire via email to every club and say, well, your chairman, secretary, manager, fill this in.
Yep.
Well, what's
difficult? That's a starting point, and get some views on it. And
but worst case scenario then, Ashley, Sudbury, VCD, you're in that situation at the end of the year, you're the odd one out. What do you do?
Well, straight away you'd look to appeal, or you would look to find some way. I know for a fact our chairman legally would look for something. Even the money we spend. What is the point? Or it's just obviously you don't look at your own league because it's not down to them, but they do represent you, and that is it. And I'm not having they're there to represent us and take it forward, and I'm sure they may well have, but not to a stage where it's like sometimes it's like leagues and powerful people sometimes are like puppies and roll over and want their stomach tickled so they can get a treat. And I think sometimes it might be, well, if we get an extra place in this, then we'll go along with your decision, or if we get, and I think that's how it's done all the way up with the FA, and I don't think they concentrate.
I think if my club won the clubs we miss out, we know the rules from the start with, and you can't have to run with that. And I get your frustrations, and I get your chairman's frustrations, and all this and the other. My thing will always be, well, the decision is made. These are the rules. You've got to run with it. But what I'd like to see, because clearly at the end of the year there'll be a lot of disgruntled football clubs, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unpleasantness as well. If they're going to stick with it, then they've got to leave the door open and reassess it in a year's time.
The thing that also, I agree with that, but the one thing, and I think communication's a massive thing, and I know people are listening and say, oh yeah, but your secretary of Douglas, no, there was nothing put out massively from the FA in the biggest bold letters you could say, and say, this is what's happening at the end of the year. They haven't said that. They've just basically, I think we read it out a couple of times in the paper, and people were going, really? Yeah. That can't be happening.
I think Craig came on and spoke about it, didn't he?
The thing is, most football clubs and most football club secretaries look after the job they do fantastic jobs. They go with the flow. They don't rock the boat. They don't want to and the other. So, and as I said, when they're putting their potential new leagues and this, that and the other, it's those who've kind of, in my opinion, the very much the minority who make the most noise, who have pushed this thing. And do you know what? They talk about restructures and travel expenses. Well, if you want to talk about travelling and you want to talk about, the local clubs, Needham Market, Leiston, Lowestoft, have been moved from a league which was geographically fine for them and travelling wise, have been put in a league where they're spending half the time across the other side of the country. And this actually happened 11 years ago when the Southern League was formed. And I remember Sudbury, after I left, was stuck in this league. It always killed them because of the travelling. I don't know what was wrong with it before.
But going back to what you said earlier on, when you looked at the table and you said, look, there's perhaps half the league all going for it. So there could be a team in there that is going for it. And let's say use VCD for an example. If you say, for instance, your chairman said, look, we're going to really go for it this year, Keith, I'm going to back you with all the money, whatever you want, it's there. But then you could get all the way through there, be that odd one out. The next year, your chairman can't come back to you and go, sorry, Kev, I gave you plenty of money to get there this year, and we ain't got the money this year. Go for it.
I just think it's just weird. Like this year, and I said it does great on you that, and it might be us, but you win a playoff, you won a playoff, can't go up. But last year, someone lost the playoff and went up. It just don't make no sense whatsoever.
Yeah. I think the thing is, the difficulty now is that how does a football club gauge success? You know, and you know, of the 5 or 6 clubs I mentioned there, and I'm not going to highlight them, but you know, it's common knowledge that they are pushing the boat out financially. You know, and fair enough. And listen, I'm not moaning about that. I was manager at Leicester. I had a massive budget at Leicester. Don't worry, you know, and all credit to that football club for giving it to me. So I know about big budgets. I've been there, and I have no issue with it whatsoever. But here's the thing: how do they gauge success? If the guy doesn't win the league, he doesn't go up, and it could be some crazy scenario about some mad playoff decision made at Wembley or something that affects this guy. How do you gauge the success? You know what I mean? From my point of view at Sunbury, it's like one of our gauges of success is, can we get our average gate up? Can we get more people coming from watching us play? You know, can we therefore increase our fixed income? Can we utilise for the football club? Because it's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. You know? It's made it very, very difficult.
Well, that's the thing about that, though, isn't it? If you've won the playoffs, that is success, because you haven't not got promoted because you've done the right scenario. The team in another league has done exactly what you've done and going up. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You've been successful. Last year they made such a big thing, and Nick come in and put it in the writing about when we said about reprieves. He said, well, they've always done reprieves. No, the FA are rewarding people for success, not failure. What they've done this year.
It's a strange one. I think it'll run and run.
Yeah, it will keep going.
Run.
Well, it's not. It's only going to get worse, especially as soon as the playoffs are in. Whoa.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And like someone did say, they hoping that someone pulls out the league so they don't have to have that issue. Shouldn't even be thinking about that.
No. It's
We're going to have this conversation most weeks, but obviously.
I mean, do you think that's good? You just said the FA are hoping for it. Do you expect that to happen though? I mean, do you think they're going to get that? If we were playing Monopoly, get the get out of jail free card?
Listen, they who knows, mate? Who knows? Too far down the sea.
It's a head scratcher. It's one of them. You think yourself, really?
Shouldn't even be thinking about it, do you?
No, but as I say, I mean, it's I'm you know, I suppose I'm pleased that I'm not in the position some of the managers are in our league who there's a bigger expectation. You know,
yeah.
At the end of the day, because actually, if we get into the playoffs and I know that team, I mean, I'd be frustrated.
Yeah.
But our club would be thinking that's a massive achievement. You know, so it's a strange one. But again, as I said earlier on, I've been around a long while, and I have seen some strange decisions made by some strange people with strange places in the past. True. But Nick, I'm not talking about you, mate. I'm not talking about you.
You're just strange.
So take the fifth.
Yeah. Should we just have a look at some of these fixtures that are coming up over the weekend and see what we think of some of these? Brighton C, they're at home to top of the table Tonbridge Angels, and
I think that'd be a good game. I think, you know, after especially the result last week, Brighton C. But Tonbridge only conceded 1 goal this year, so it's going to be tough for them.
no?
Well, with no disrespect to Steve, I'd like to see Tom get a result at home at Tonbridge. You know, it'll be tough. The thing, what I saw building at Tonbridge and what I guess he's developed on, obviously with Reed again as well, they've got the ability really just to boss outside over it. They, you know, it's the lad Nathan, the big black lad up front.
No, he's got Nathan Elder.
Yeah, he was always a typical sort of he could bowl teams over, you know, but
they've got Tom Bear there at the moment, who's a great signing, but he was in. Well, I don't know if he's back, but he got injured.
Did he? But Brighton at home, that's a nice little ground. The R's, I think the supporters are called. They make a noise and that. I mean, they're living the dream. I know you talk about, but they are living the dream.
Yeah, and they've done well.
And those success stories, if they can, you know, you see a lot of success stories that then just peter away and die. And I'd love to see.
Well, you was on about obviously with yourself in long-term contracts, but their continuity is why they've been so good. Obviously, they've lost some, you know, what happened here, but they still have got a nucleus of players that have been there a long time.
Well, James, the manager, I know he was there for a long while, but Tom was his assistant for a long while. Don't forget that Tom left Brighton to come to me and has gone back as manager. So there is that an understanding, and it carries a long way. It just does. I mean, it's. No, I like them over there. I think they're good people. They're a good club.
Yeah, and, lovely people. Yeah. Carshalton versus Bognor.
I think that'd be a great game. See, Carl Shorten play football. They've got the AstroTurf. They have a decent crowd. Obviously, Bognor will go up there. I think Peter might get a result against Bognor there.
8-0 Carl Shorten. Bognor Regis gets 7 major injuries. Can I say that?
Yeah, just that.
It's out there.
Gee, this show makes you do things like this.
I don't look at. I mean, not being funny. Bognor's league form is pretty good, isn't it?
It is.
Fair,
It
I
is.
would. I don't know. I don't call it unfair to say that, but
Dorking, Hornchurch.
Draw.
I think Hornchurch.
Folkestone Victor versus Burgess Hill Town.
Again,
Got to bounce back from the
and
disappointment.
at home, and Cugs will get his team that. But Burgess still on mostly got some confidence now.
Sorry, Chapman, but Folkestone will win that after the cup game. I think they will.
Harlow versus Croupian Casuals. 6-pointer.
We said that last week. There is no 6-pointers here. It's a big game. It is a big game at the moment. When you obviously ain't picked up much points. If Harlow get the point, they that gap increases between below them, and that's all they want. If whatever they're looking at. But it's also a big game for Croupian. They don't want to be cut adrift. With 2 points after 6 games, and I know they've got a game in hand, but. That'll open up a 6-point gap with Harlow, won't it? Maybe even 7.
Yeah.
Draw.
Kingstonian Bishop Stortford.
Kingstonian Bishop Stortford.
I would fancy Kingstonian in that, what I've seen, but they need to win.
0-0.
Lewis versus Enfield Town.
Well, Lewis, difficult place, but the thing about, and we mentioned the obviously midweek games. They had a draw in the FA Cup, which Lewis they played last week and obviously won 8-1. They've played Saturday, they've got another draw, they're playing again on Wednesday, then they've got this, so it could work in their favour, maybe not. Enfield need to bounce back, but again...
Enfield will win. After the FA Cup game, they've got a bounce back and win. I think they'll go and turn around.
Potters Bar versus Leatherhead.
I've got a draw on that one.
Whitehawk Haringey Borough.
God, that could be an interesting one. Like I said, Haringey are decent, but Whitehawk obviously are as well. I'm going to go and home and win with that one.
Because Whitehawk, interesting enough, play Bognor Regis the following Tuesday in the Velocity Cup. The Tuesday 4 we play them. So, because I don't know really. I'll go with you, mate, on Whitehawk. So.
Wingate and Finchley versus Mersham.
Again, Mersham had a poor result drawing with Cray Valley, who are a good side. You've got Kieran Lisby and that up front anyway. Wingate need to bounce back. Pitched Mersham play great football as well.
It's 2 good football teams.
Yeah,
you can see it could be a good game.
Yeah, it could be
4-3 to Wingate, I reckon.
Yeah, it could be.
This one looks like it's going to be a right humdinger as well. Worthing against Margate.
Yeah, I fancy Worthing in that one. Margate, I don't think are as strong as I thought they were last year. I may be completely wrong. Change of manager again. It'd be interesting. That.
Worthing, they're playing at home, aren't they?
Yeah. On their AstroTurf.
Margate historically would struggle on that pitch. I think.
They've got their own now. They've had it all last year. They got
really?
3G last year. Yeah.
Really? Well, they have all the sand then. Got rid of all the sand. And
Margate's 3G. Decent, yeah.
Oh well, fair play to them.
One thing while we're looking at these fixtures for next week, and all I would say to the people that do football web pages, sort it out.
Oh, it's gone awful, isn't it?
It's horrific.
The new version.
Yeah, the new version of the new version
new
of
app's rubbish.
it's
You've got to
horrendous.
double click and put the calendar in.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Get it back to how it was before.
Yeah.
Anyway, North Division, Aveley versus Haybridge Swifts.
Oh, that's
going to be a right game and
I'll let Mark go with these ones. So that's going to be a humdinger, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, I can give me opinion, see, because I'm not one for hiding behind, so. I think Haybridge will win.
Do you know what? I'll put a prediction out there. Okay, there'll be a red card in that game.
You reckon?
Yep.
I reckon it'll be a draw, a score draw, but there we go. Basildon United versus Soham Town.
Basildon will beat them up when they win.
Maybe, if they're big and strong, what we're saying.
Bowes and Pitsea versus Felixstowe. That'll be a game.
I fancy Bowes at home.
Yeah, Felixstowe.
Is that their first game on the?
On the 3G.
On the 3G.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Felixstowe are because they just come up from the league below, and they went down to. I think they lost at Basildon. That's where I heard they got bashed around a little bit, and I wonder how they'll adapt because it is the big. It's quite a difference. I mean, that league below in our area is a good quality league, Eastern Counties league, but the move up, the physicality of the games is one of the things.
And how will Bowes and Pitsea react to the first game on the 3G, their own.
They're
3G,
going to want to win, aren't they?
So
Obviously, they've played here a couple of times, so it's not going to bother them,
what
is
I'm
it?
saying is, as you said before, is every 3G seems to be a little bit different. It could be a little bit of a leveller on that for that first game.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I'm sure they'll be training on it all week.
I think the key to a 3G pitch is decide on your style of play and then use it wherever you play. Because it's the times you see sides you think, I'll be Barcelona today because I'm on a 3G pitch. You know what I mean? Yeah. Barras play a reasonable brand of football, but they play a brand of football that will work on both sides. And I can't imagine Rob changing his style just because he's got a perfect pitch.
Brentwood versus Grays.
Cool, that's a.
I reckon home win now.
Yeah, Grays. I was surprised how they started the season, but again, I haven't. It's down to Mark that one.
I think a draw.
Bury versus Great Wakering. Away win?
No, I don't think. I think Bury. I mean, Great Wakering when they were in this league before, they were like at home. They were good, but they never travelled very well. Do you know what I mean? And Bury after losing the FA Cup will bounce out, I think.
Ollie Mers versus Tilbury.
They were at home, weren't they? And I haven't seen them play. I'm waiting for Ollie to just let us to come up and do our show from there for once when he's listening. So I'm going to take us out after.
I think Colchester will win that.
Yeah. Dereham versus Whittam.
James, what do you reckon?
I wonder what you'll say.
No,
Dereham had a funny start to the season. They ain't changed their players. They
got smashed, and then they smashed someone else.
They looked dreadful, yeah.
Last season, they got 4 at half time or something. They were absolutely like, my God.
Yeah.
And they were actually there or thereabouts, and then for no reason fell away. They've had a poor start to the season, really. I think they'll be with them.
Yeah, fly through these.
Malden Tiptree, Canby Island, home win or what do you have?
I'm going
home draw win.
Yeah, I don't know if Canby might just
go
Canby, and mix that a little bit.
They're experienced, Canby, so they may, if Malden are young, they might.
Yeah, but I mean, Malden are having a look this year. I mean, they've Wayne Bond. Wayne Bond. That's a Wayne. What's his manager's name at Malden? Ex-private Ipswich.
Victorian.
Malden's manager.
Right.
He was he come from he's a Culture United employee anyway. But I mean, they've looked at it. They need to for that model to work with Colchester. They're tied to Colchester. Yeah, I mean, they've got Malden have got to be our higher leagues. So
Mildenhall
Wayne Brown. Sorry, yeah.
Mildenhall Barking away win.
On paper, I would say away win, but Justin needs to get a few results.
Tell you what, there'll be noisy dugouts from both sides. Justin and Dean, they'll be out. Here you go.
Romford against Sudbury.
Away win, Chris. Yeah. On form, you would say Romford, but don't write us off.
We ain't.
Right, we'll go through these. We'll go through these really quickly, but we'll just because we'll go through some of these fixtures. I won't ask your prediction. I'll just go through Bedford against Shelf on St Peter, Bracknell Town versus Northwood, Cheshunt against South Park, Egham versus Hertford, Egham, yeah. Hanwell Town versus Chipstead, Marlow versus FC Romania, Molesey versus Westfield, Tooting and Mitcham versus Ashford Town, Uxbridge versus Ware, and I think this is probably the game of the day in the division. Wolfram Abbey against Hayes and Yeading.
That
was the first game I ever saw at Wolfram Abbey.
This is the South Division.
South-west.
South
Central, isn't it?
South Central, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
South Central.
It's weird. I think you got South of Cheshunt, North London.
It's ridiculous.
But that was the first game I ever saw at Wolfram Abbey when they played.
That'd be a good game.
Yeah,
be a very good game.
And of course yours down in the southeast.
Really?
It might take a bit of time because this new app is, as we said, is awful. So you've got to sit there and scroll through all the dates to actually get where you want. Ashford United versus Cray Wanderers.
That's a massive, big game. Yeah. Already. That'd be a good one to watch. Yeah. I'm going to go a draw with that, because Ashford have obviously doing.
I really like Tony at Cray, so I hope he wins.
They play Ashford with Gary Alexander, the old Greenwich Borough. They've pushed the boat out and signed, obviously, Sam Mott, as you know, is watching. From Hornchurch last year and Lee Dawson, they've got a good side there.
East Grinstead VCD.
Away win.
I win.
I'm with my colleague over there.
Greenwich Borough versus Guernsey.
Do you know what? That'd be a good game. We played Borough and they got their first win last week, and they're a side that are brand new, that have got loads and loads of pace. That if they score first, they win, and they did. And I know he's travelling. I've got a feeling Greenwich Borough could upset them.
Horsham, Herne Bay.
Draw. I'm going to go with that one.
Hyde Town, Hastings.
That's going to be an away win.
Phoenix, Winstable Town, home win.
Yep, my mates have got to stick by them.
Ramsgate, Thamesmead.
Both teams play very similar. This, I'm going to go an away win. I'm going to go for my old club.
Sevenoaks versus Haywoods Heath.
Yeah, that'd be a test for Mick. For Sevenoaks who come in, they play on 3G as well.
Okay.
Brand new, that's decent. I think Haywoods Heath are a very good side. We went down there and they surprised me. Big, strong, very organised. Come through the leagues, they won it twice. Obviously, they got deducted 9 points to lose the league the year before because after they won it. Because an eligible player, he was signing. It was one of these.
They're preparing themselves for the playoffs.
Sounds it. They had a lad that they signed from Fish Athletic that got booked and didn't pay his £10 booking.
Okay.
And they played him, and obviously they didn't. They got done 9 points, and they lost. They had to give the league back. So
It's a bit harsh, isn't it?
that's that would be there.
Sittingbourne, Whiteleaf.
Sittingbourne, Whiteleaf.
Is that Kelly giving us a
No. Sittingbourne, Whiteleaf.
Yeah, and Three Bridges against Faversham.
God, some Three Bridges people are sitting there going, they're not good. They're going to upset a few sides. I think they might get a result against Faversham.
That last me. Too far north.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, but believe it or not, the time has flown by. I looked at the clock just a minute ago. It was on 35 minutes, and we're already 2 hours.
So
it's absolutely good. So So a massive thank you to everybody at home for watching, and of course the podcast will be out later. The show will be out on Facebook. We'll download it to. We'll do a bit of editing on it tomorrow, and we'll send it out via YouTube as well. Of course, leaves me to say a massive thank you to Keith as normal, and of course to the living legend himself, Mr. Morsley, by the side of me for coming in. And
always a pleasure, Jess, always a pleasure.
And hopefully, I'm working on getting Mr. Milden Hall with us next week. So hopefully Dino will be. I think probably more by Skype.
What we need to do, mate, as well, because the new league, we need to try and get some of the South.
Yeah.
Someone from the South Central, and one of the new teams. Not we do get a lot in. South Central. So if anyone in the South Central that are listening that wants to come in or even ring up, any of the managers, it would be great to hear from you.
Mm-hmm. And just one last thing before we left, Hastings were the winner of the at Craig Johnston team of the week for this week, quite considerably, if I'm honest. And the good news is we've lasted 2 hours and we've not had one break in the Wi-Fi, so that'll be good.
Sorted.
So hopefully we're fully sorted. But until next week, me and Keith will see you then, but have a good week. Hopefully you get the points that you want to get at the weekend. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you then.
Excellent.
Well done, mate.
Well done, boys.
Right.